Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing well and staying safe. I want to do the next set of skills in this series, Cruisers. And Cruisers are highly subjective depending on the person, depending on the cruiser, depending on the nation, you name it. All depends of what you want to do and use. But if I had to be honest, the skill set and being non-biased depends generically on what you want to do with the ship and what the nation is and what it can do. Whether it's an AP grinder like the York at Tier 7 with their 209s, I think it is, or 203s, or you're looking at a Japanese boat with high velocity, or here the Perth, my Commonwealth boat. So let's start off with the Perth. I always take grease the gears. The base one is plus 15. When you get into a turning match with a DD or you get a turning match with a cruiser, you want to be able to track and fire. If your guns are slow, if they take more than 20 seconds to do 180 degrees, I would strongly suggest you take grease the gears. If you're not sure, take it anyway. It's a great skill set. Now, the Perth does have torpedoes, and torpedo speed is plus 5%. I don't really need this one for the Perth. It's fine. I know Japanese cruisers, a lot of the guys do it from the Zhao down because they have some really great torpedoes. So does things like the Grash Bay when you look at a cruiser for the Germans and whatnot. So again, it's a personal choice. This next one is Consumable Specialist, where you want to reduce how long it takes for consumables to come back up and to be used. Again, the only benefit, this one is a fighter plane, so it doesn't have any benefit, but some. Torpedo reload booster, defensive AA, spotting aircraft, fighter consumable reload. Depends what you want to do. Main battery reload booster, that might be with the French and whatnot. I don't know. It's up to you. Again, I don't see any value in this one personally. Time taken to change shell types. Now, the Perth is an exception. She's 7.5 seconds reload and whatnot from going from HE to AP. Again, not a big deal, but some of the other American cruisers, you can get up over 10 seconds. You can get up over 12 seconds. The Zhao, 15 seconds. You get the idea. So when you look at different cruisers when you're over 15 seconds and you want to reload your type, I've got specialty captains, as I've said before, that get this down 75%, and you're reloading the ship in a matter of 3 or 4 seconds. It makes a difference, or in half makes a difference to 7 seconds. And when you want to engage in a DD, it's important. So again, depends on the ship, depends on the type of ship. Cruisers are really hard to know and how to play. So again, it all depends. This next one is incoming fire. I've mentioned this before in the last series, the DD one. Yeah, I don't see the benefit to this for me. I can pay attention to what I'm doing now. In the olden days, yep, for sure, I used to put this because I couldn't see the mini map and really wasn't paying attention in games sometimes. And you get a battleship that's going to blop you from their side of the map, and it does happen. I will tell you a quick story that in my Julio's there, I took out a Tier 5 Exeter that the buddy had just gotten it, got within 16.3, turned the boat full broadside to me, had never shot a shot in it, and I sent them back to port in one salvo. So again, you got to pay attention. It's really important. The next one let's take here is I always take last stand. It's a 1-point captain now skill in cruisers. This is fantastic. I do because it comes down to engine, steering, gears, etc., etc., etc. You're dead in the water as a cruiser, and you're just dead. That's how it's going to work. You're a big target. Now, some cruisers, like this one, chance of main battery fire, if your ship is a fire starter in cruisers, and now you're getting effective when you start going Tier 4 or rather Tier 5 and on, you can become a fire starter. So this is actually worthwhile, and I do it. Again, it depends. And of course, then there's the ammunition explosion radius with the submarine, extra 15%. Again, I'm getting used to this one. I do actually take this sometimes with regards to secondaries and main battery. I don't necessarily take it for the Commonwealth ships, but I have in the past, especially if the ship is designed to be a fire starter. If I give you a great example, HMS Blowtorch, which I said the Devonshire, yeah, I can get over 20% fire chance. So every other time I'm shooting, I'm pretty much setting a fire. It's great against battleships. The next one obviously is torpedo reload time. Unless you're going to be using your cruiser as a destroyer, again, I don't see the value in this one, but hey, some people take it because you can get it quite low. So it's up to you. And some reload times, it can be anywhere from 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. So you can knock 15 to 20 seconds off that. That's substantial. And again, personal choice. This next one for me is consumable enhancements. Extending your smoke time, extending your hydro time. In the cruisers, I take it because I'm not someone who hangs back and does HE spam from, 15, 16, 20 kilometers away. That's not my shtick. I like to go in and grind and do my thing. So this has creeping smoke and it has extra hydro. It makes a big difference. Eye in the sky. I have never actually taken this skill set ever. Spotting aircraft, consumable reload time. I don't know. I don't take this. I don't have spotting aircraft. It's mostly fighter aircraft. I want to have something in my cruisers. I very rarely take spotting. There's a couple Russian cruisers that I might consider it, but for the most part, for me, it's going to be a fighter. It doesn't seem for me, so I've just never taken this one before. That doesn't mean I won't want to try it, but hey, priority target, how many people are aiming at you? Again, cruiser, it's up to you if you want to take it. I typically don't take it because I don't need it for a cruiser. You can usually tell who's shooting at you just by zooming and seeing the guns. You're about to get shot. So again, it's a personal choice. If you're not sure, take it. It's very important. Focus fire training. Now, this is priority sectors activated. When you actually do the priority sector, the airstrike arm reload time is minus 10%. Priority sector reinforcement is plus 25%. I will not lie to you, in a cruiser, and especially certain cruisers, like the Atlanta, for instance, which used to be an AA cruiser, and now she's kind of an AA cruiser, this is a big deal. Your Flint, big deal. The Perth, not so much, because again, like I said earlier, it depends on the choice of the cruiser. You got to understand where it's going to put you, and the number of shells, explosion, AA salvo, make sure you actually have that capability. Most cruisers don't. Some do, some don't. It's 50-50, but make sure you do. But this can actually help in party sector. This is a late skill, like the last 10 minutes of the game. When you start having a CV who's just been throwing plane after plane after plane after plane, or you're going up against a Russian CV, it does help a lot. All right. Heavy HE and SAP shells. So, again, I don't take it for the Perth, but I have taken this in other ships as well. Your main battery HE is self-damage or goes up by 10%. So again, if you're going to get X amount of damage, it's better SAP damage. But if your guns are over 149 millimeters, yeah, which the Perth is, and most of these guys are 152 and better, yeah, you're gonna your detectability is going to go up 15%. It really does nerf the concealment expert completely, and it gives you a 5% penalty. So again, it's your call. I mean, I think this boat is 8.8 for all the concealment. You're going to put it well close to 10 and change. So yeah, you're going to be shot at a lot more. So good on you. If you have smoke, maybe this boat does have creeping smoke. It might be better, but I very rarely take this unless I don't really care and I want to be a high-end Italian or American ship, and I just want to shoot something, especially the higher tiers where I know I'm going to be detected anyway, aka planes. Which is funny, because if you take that, I'd highly recommend you take that. And the next one, torpedo damage. I actually do take this on quite a bit of my cruisers, just not this one. I think this one is actually spec'd out for the operational week. But I do take this one, torpedo damage, to get an extra plus 15%. It does help, and it does help. It helps specifically with the battleships and whatnot when they have a good torpedo protection. Again, some of these, like the Kremlin, are I think over 45%. So again, this is not going to come up against the Kremlin, but it does help, especially on boats where it's going to be a cruiser. You got torpedoes. You want the damage if you need it. And by the way, this skill set, if you hit a destroyer with it, you can sometimes one-shot a destroyer in one shot. It's fantastic. If you're going to be an HE spammer or AP spammer, you're going to want to take Adrenaline Rush. This is just a no-brainer. Everything gets reloaded quicker as your health goes down. One thing about this skill set, if you can, don't hit your pair. Don't hit your heel. Just watch it go down a bit, and you'll get better and better at it, and then eventually you'll learn how to judge when you want to hit your heel, depending. Next skill set, main battery AP shell damage with a main battery of plus 5%. Well, I don't have 190 millimeter guns in this, but there are cruisers that have this. I mean, if you look at things like the York, Tier 7, a good example, this would actually make a difference. It will help you pen deeper. For my cruisers, this is usually a plus thing for me. You get an extra consumable. So you get an extra smoke, extra fighter plane, extra hydro. I typically take this. Now, the cruiser here has got a plus 450 times 6. So, again, I look at this and going, if you look at it, it's an extra 3,000 HP to a 24,000 ship. So, it makes a difference. So, again, almost 3,000. Just shy of 3,000, I think, by 50 hit points. So, again, it makes a difference. The higher tier I go, the more I do take this in cruisers. Especially if they don't have a heal. If they don't have a heal, I will always take this. If they have a heal, don't bother. Looking at you, Fiji. Secondary battery reload times, again, top grade gunner. I don't typically take this main battery reload time. Now, this one's kind of controversy. It basically increases your reload speed of the main battery if there are more visible enemies within your ship's standard detectability range. So in the case of the Perth, it would be 8.8 kilometers, I think. Yeah, I've taken this. I've tried this skill set. You're usually going to put yourself in such a position that you can't kite away or you can't disengage. It's great you get a main reload battery time of minus 8%. Okay, if you're 7 seconds, you're looking at almost a second off. You're looking at about 80% of a second. So you're going to drop down to 6-point change plus adrenaline rush. It can help, but again, you're going to be a little too close. I don't know. I've had problems with this one. Now, Outnumbered Attack skill. I don't typically take this one, but I'll tell you why. Improves your ship's characteristic. The number of allies within the firing range of your ship's main battery doesn't exceed the number of visible enemy ships. Yeah. I haven't seen a use for this one just yet. I know people do. Again, it's a personal choice. It means your maximum main battery shell dispersion is minus 10%, which is great. Ship's top speed is an extra 8%. It's like having a speed boost. It's great, yes. But you're assuming that you're going to have a lot of allies around you. If you're outnumbered, this doesn't help you. So, no. Radar locator, again, from the previous skills from destroyers. I know a lot of cruiser players that take this. I do take this on some of my higher end cruisers, especially at the higher tiers. I'm going to say 8 and above because I do not want to get jumped by a DD and its torpedoes. So it does help that way. This is IFHE I told you about earlier. I do take this on this boat because it does give me an extra 25% armor penetration, which puts me well above the 32, so I can actually hit battleships. Now, I don't really care about fire starters on this one. If this is the Devonshire, I would not take this, to be honest with you, but sometimes I do. I just typically wouldn't because I want more fires than I want penetration. It's good to that point. I would say I like it, but for ships that are 152, 150, you might want to consider taking it if you're not really a fire starter, so that way you can get more penetration and more damage. Concealment for me is a must. This is always going to be a must. The ability to disengage when things go horribly wrong, very, very important. Can't stress that enough. And last one, the A Defense and ASW Expert. This one's actually pretty good. You can get more damage. If you combine this with this, you can get more damage, and it'll help you in if you're going up against carriers and whatnot. But again, overall, how close is a cruiser going to get to a submarine to depth charge it? Well, I've seen battleships take it out, so who knows, right? So anyway, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, stay safe, take care, and I wish you all the best. Bye for now.